Tonight I have a craving for some really rich, delicious roast beef. Now I want that with all the trimmings. So how can I do that on being on this diet? Well, I'm going to show you a really good recipe. This is considered an S meal on Trim Healthy Mama. It is going to make you feel full, satisfied, and really hit that happy button. So thank you for watching today. Today we're going to make a delicious pot roast. We are going to have some mashed cauliflower with some delicious buttered broccoli. It is going to be really, really good. Now, I'm busy all day today. As some of you may know, I got to be out of my house in like 2 weeks because we're moving. So I'm going to be packing all day long. How can I make this delicious meal in like 15 minutes? Well, I'm gonna use my crock pot. So that makes it even a better dinner. But first we gotta get a little bit of work done. I'm gonna show you a couple of hacks because I have bought the onion soup mix from Aldi ever since they opened. And I recently went into the store and they told me that they no longer carry it. Now this is the dry onion soup mix. I was really sad to hear that because it doesn't contain any MSG, but they said now maybe on an Aldi find occasionally. I thought to heck with that. I can't eat Lipton. It's loaded with MSG. It's an instant migraine for me. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make our own homemade onion soup mix. And you know what? I think it's gonna come out really good. It's got all the same ingredients. I looked them up as the ones that they have for Aldi, their onion soup mix. So we're gonna put that together. Now, I don't have any beef bouillon granules. I need the ones that are MSG free. So today I'm gonna make my own beef bouillon as soon as I get this beef all seared. I'm gonna show you a little hack. We're gonna go ahead and sear our meat. Get this started. I'm gonna take all the drippings off of the pan and show you how I make some beef broth to use a little bit later. But let's go ahead and I'll show you how I season my meat. I've got my iron pan heating up here. We want it nice and hot before we sear it. So I'm gonna season this generally with salt and pepper, like this. I'm only gonna do one side right now because I want to make sure that I can put this on the heat. I've washed this roast. Now this will actually make a couple nights dinners. I have another dish that I'm gonna be making with this probably in the next 2 nights. But let's go ahead and get our oil started. Our pan is definitely getting hotter. So we're gonna take about a tablespoon of olive oil. Now I use extra virgin olive oil, and I'm gonna pour this in the pan. Then we're going to, as soon as this starts heating up and we get a nice little heat on it, so we get a nice sear, I've got it on the maximum heat, I'm gonna go ahead and put this right into the oil. All right, it's starting to smoke, so I think that's a good indication. It's gonna be a nice sear on the meat. And that's exactly what you wanna hear. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Let's turn it over. And this is what you wanna see. You wanna see a sear on that meat. That smells good. And don't worry about it smoking. This is normal. Perfect. Now we're gonna take it, excuse me, we're gonna take it off the heat and just throw it into our crock pot. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this. I wanna deglaze the pan and I wanna make a little bit of broth for when I'm gonna add this to it later. Now, I'm gonna let this cook in the slow cooker on low for 3 to 4 hours. Then I'm gonna add my seasonings and my broth and let it cook the rest of the day. All right, my broth has cooked down. This does two things. It makes it easier to clean my pan, and it also gives me a nice little broth to add to my meat later. So we're just gonna pour this into a cup. And there you go. I'm gonna let this cool. I'm gonna put it in another container and just stick it in the refrigerator after it's cool enough to put in there. Right now it's boiling hot. Now, if I had some beef bouillon, I would probably add a little bit of that to this, but that's okay. I got a really good mix that I'm gonna make for this onion soup mix, so let me show you how I do that. Okay, to make our onion soup mix, it's gonna be very easy. We're gonna add some dehydrated onions. I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of this. Maybe 2.5 actually. And then we're gonna add some dried parsley. Now I'm just gonna set this aside till a little later when my roast is ready to add these additional things to it, and I'll show you those as soon as the roast is ready. So at this point, all I'm gonna do is prep my vegetables because I steam them in the microwave, but let me just get that done real quick just so you can see how I kind of prep it for the day. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the cauliflower. I'm just gonna trim everything up and then I will clean it and put it in a nice clean bag in the refrigerator. So all I have to do is steam it, very last thing. And look how dirty. You wanna make sure to always wash your vegetables. Now it really doesn't matter how you cut this up. You are going to have a mashed cauliflower, so I just make smaller pieces of the cauliflower so that I can wash it real good. And I'm gonna steam it a little later, so I just want pieces that are gonna be very easy to fit into my steamer. Sometimes I cut them, sometimes I break them off. It just depends on, what the cauliflower looks like. Those will work. All right, let me clean these and I'll be right back. All right, while the cauliflower is drying, we're gonna do the same exact thing to the broccoli. So the broccoli is always really easy to do. Once you get down to the middle, it might get a little bit more, I like to add some of the stems to mine. Just a personal preference. Either way, it's not gonna, these are actually the broccoli crowns, but I do like the longer stems on them. I think it just gives you more roughage. We're just gonna trade places with our cauliflower, and I'm one of those people who saves my bags just for these types of things, because all I'm gonna do is stick these in the refrigerator until tonight when it's time to steam them. It's just gonna make it a little easier tonight when I'm more busy. I'm gonna do the same thing with the broccoli. Just wanna clean it real good. All right, my broccoli is cleaned and my cauliflower is cleaned. This is gonna save me some time tonight. I'm just gonna stick both of these in the refrigerator and then I'm gonna show you the magic a little bit later. Now I wanted to share something with all of you. I am hoping that some of you will be interested in following me on this journey. So I have my son's wedding coming up in September with all this other chaos going on with the move out of state, renting an apartment, all this stuff. It's gonna be a chaotic summer. That's all I have to say. But you know what? I really wanna be down like an extra 15 pounds before the wedding. That is gonna put me over my weight loss for the last 2 years of 100 pounds. So this is going to be a members only challenge, whatever you want to call it, but I'm going to be doing kind of a what I eat in a day for at least 4 days a week. Now, I'm going to show you how I do that at home, in a hotel, in an apartment, and on the road to Minnesota for the wedding. So if anyone is interested in following me on this particular journey, I'm still going to be doing my regular videos, but I'm going to be adding this special series just for my members. So if you're interested, hit that member button. I'm going to be starting it really in the next 2 weeks. So you might even want to wait 2 weeks. It's up to you. But it's going to be a members only challenge. Now everybody can lose weight and follow my other recipes. And of course I have a huge playlist of Trim Healthy Mama recipes, but this is going to include exercise, diet, macros, Trim Healthy Mama, the whole shoot and match. So anyway, I thought I would just throw that out there. If you're interested, I have all kinds of different memberships and some really cute emojis that I designed just for my members. So I'll see you guys a little bit later when we finish making our roasts. All right, it's been about 3.5 hours. Look how gorgeous that roast looks. And as you can see, it's also created some juice on the bottom of the pan. So we're actually going to add the rest of our beef broth that we made from our drippings from when we seared our meat. We're going to pour that in. And then we're also going to put our seasoning packet that we made as well. And we're going to pour this whole thing on here. And we are going to enjoy this. This is going to be super, super good. Now, about an hour before we finish putting this whole meal together, we're going to add some xanthan gum. Now, xanthan gum is going to be the thing that actually thickens up this sauce a little bit, kind of like gravy, but without all the calories and everything that you would normally get from adding flour to it. So all I'm going to do is just turn my roast over. I want to have all these sides cook up. And we've got some wonderful, wonderful juices going on. This is going to be so good. This smells wonderful. So we're just going to let this cook the rest of the day. And I'm going to continue on with my packing. And when it's time to make dinner, I'll bring you back, show you how we thicken up this wonderful roast gravy, make our cauliflower mash and broccoli with butter, and have this wonderful dinner. And I think I'm also going to have a little bit of cottage cheese and Jell-O, sugar-free Jell-O as our dessert. So I'll see you at dinner time. So instead of adding cornstarch or flour to thicken up our gravy, we're going to be adding something called xanthan gum. Now I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just going to put this in just like that. I'm going to give it a little stir with a whisk. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to slice up my roast, and then I'm going to put it back in while everything thickens up. And you really have to stir this in. It's not a real, I don't know what you call it, but it doesn't stir in as good as like cornstarch or flour does, but that's okay. It will stir in, so just be patient with it. It's already kind of thickening it up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up my meat, and then I'm going to add it back into my dish. So there's a lot of ways to do roast and gravy. Some people like to just cut it and, you know, put it on a platter and then, you know, have it so they can make it into sandwiches or what have you. This is the way I cut my roast. I kind of cut it against the grain. I just find that the thinner that you cut it, you can make it into sandwiches, whatever you decide to do with it. But once the roast is nice and thin, it's gonna make it much more tender. The last little bit, I always kind of turn it around and just get it, the last little cuts into it. Look how beautiful that is. All right, so I'm gonna add this back into my mixture. Oh, it's nice and thick and beautiful. Oh, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so delicious. Look at that. Oh boy. I absolutely cannot wait for dinner. I just love roast and gravy. It's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. All right, so we're just gonna let this kind of simmer until the rest of our meal's ready. I'm just gonna leave it on low. We've got our cauliflower and our broccoli that we've already cleaned and cut up and gotten ready to go. I'm gonna use my Sistema steamer. I love this thing. So I just fill up the bottom with water, then I fill it. I'm gonna do the cauliflower first because it's white. I'm gonna cover it and then I'll cook it in my microwave for about 10 minutes. I usually do about 8 minutes, but I wanna make sure I can mash it really easily. This is the simplest way that I have found to get the most delicious vegetables possible. And that is by using this steamer. I just throw it in the microwave usually for 8 minutes. We're gonna do it a little longer because this time we're making a cauliflower mash. We wanna kind of make something that's gonna, mimic the potatoes. And I'm just make sure that it's open on the top so it can vent. And I'll bring you back as soon as it's done. All right, so we're gonna transfer all of this cauliflower to the food processor. It's really hot, but I wanna make sure that it all gets processed. Probably gonna do a little bit of it at a time, just so that I can fit the other things in here. So we're gonna add 2 ounces of cream cheese. Sis add some sour cream, but I don't have any today. So we're just gonna add the cream cheese, and then we're gonna add some sharp cheddar, salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic. I'm gonna put all the directions down below, but right now I need to get this going because I need to put the broccoli in there. All right, we've got 2 ounces of cream cheese, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. Now, I'm not really measuring. I'm doing the seasonings the way I like it, but I'll put the measurements down below so you can put in however much it is you like. And now we're just gonna throw our broccoli in here before we get our cauliflower done. See, I'm using the same container and everything. And all I'm gonna do is cook this one in my steamer for 8 minutes. All right, let's finish getting our cauliflower mash put together. Now I think since I don't have any sour cream, I'm just gonna add a little bit of half and half to this. Oh, that looks beautiful. Let's give it a try. That is good. Now because I'm waiting on my broccoli, I'm gonna put this cauliflower into the oven. All right, into the oven it goes. All right, I changed my mind. I decided to do some fresh strawberries instead of the Jell-O tonight. It just sounded really good to have the strawberries. These are really good strawberries. Sometimes they're kind of bland. Sometimes they're just nice and sweet. You just never know. And to that, I'm just gonna add a little, like half a scoop of cottage cheese, not very much. All right, I've served up my broccoli, my strawberries, my cauliflower, and now all I'm going to do is add my roast beef to this dish. And I'll tell you what, it smells so good. So I'm gonna take a little, oh my gosh, this is delicious looking. I'm gonna take a couple pieces of roast beef. Oh my gosh. It's so nice and thin, and it made the most beautiful gravy. This is all from adding that xanthan gum. Seriously, does that look like diet food to you? So let's give this roast beef dinner a try. Wow, that is so good. This is my cauliflower mash with gravy. Look at that. All right, I can't wait another second to eat. I'm on my way out here. So thanks for watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm gonna link the recipe below and also the onion soup mix below. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications. And just remember, I am gonna be doing a 15-pound challenge between now and September. If you are a member of my channel, you can watch all the exciting episodes for that. And I am going to be doing some other episodes that are non-member related. So don't worry if you're not a member, you'll still get all kinds of good content. But this is specifically for the challenge that I'm going to be doing. So take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.